Let's do this. Let's do this. I am about to send this to all pertinent parties. So excited to be here. It's already the end of January. Can you believe it? It's a bit hard to grasp. I feel like I was typing up season 3, episode 5, and I thought it's already been 5 Mondays since the year started, right? Because New Year's Day was a moon day. So here we are. Welcome. I hope you are having a fantastic week so far. LOL, right? What a week did we not have last week, right? We discussed the full moon happening in Leo, and here we are with a moon day with the moon in Virgo. One of my favorites. I love a moon in Virgo at the start of the week. Next week, the moon is going to be in Sagittarius, which I also love for a Monday because these are signs that are very into organizing things. That's Virgo, so can't go wrong if you're being organized on a Monday. And then Sagittarius next week, fire sign, mutable fire sign. It's very interesting in the optimism to continue moving forward. And I think that can be also very productive. So how are you and how was your weekend? We are still going to talk or ponder Pluto's ingress into Aquarius because this might be the topic of conversation for a while we all kind of wrap our minds around the 180-degree types of transformations that some of us are undergoing. And it's a 20-year process. So at some point, I think we might stop talking about Pluto in Aquarius, but it's always going to be a part of the conversation, and I'll tell you why. But let's say hello. Welcome, Peter. It is the end of January. I know. Thank you so much for that. Yes, time really does fly, right? And especially if we're doing the same things every day, not necessarily in a negative way, even if we just maintain the same structure every day, right? Which is what we are all told that is so good for us. And we are all told that kids need structure. And we are all kind of indoctrinated about how structure is good, right? If you think about it, right? If I put it in those terms, it sounds kind of rigid and not that comfortable or fun, right? But anyway, we're told about all of this structure. Saturn is that masculine energy, very dominant masculine energy. And so when you're doing the same things every day, days tend to get blurred together. It happens to me. And that's why I seek novelty and I want my child to also kind of have freedom. So the point is that Pluto is entering or has entered Aquarius, and that's going to be very dramatic, very transformative. Not so much in the personal level because Pluto is very subconscious. So people may be undergoing inner transformations that we are not even aware of. Other people are having physical transformations. Things happening in their surrounding, things changing. And I want to touch on that today. So don't let me forget it, please. Hello, happy moon night. Welcome, Nani. I love you. My baby sister is in the room. It's so funny how I always say baby sister, but she's like married and she has a kid. It's so funny. But anyway, don't let me forget that I want to talk about some examples of what transformation may look like, because I feel like when we talk about Pluto and transforming things, we tend to, like always, catastrophize and think that it has to be 180 degrees, when in reality, it can be so much quicker and fluid than something big. But the point that I've been trying to make this whole time is that by the end of this week, Mercury, the planet that has to do with all of this jibber jabber, Mercury will join Pluto in Aquarius. So that means a shift in how we think and process our thoughts and beliefs and ideas and ideals. Although ideals are ruled more so by Venus than Mercury, ideas and ideals are very interconnected, right? Ideals and beliefs are like mingled together. I feel like it's all in this infinity symbol, right? That just goes and goes. So that's going to be by the end of this week. And it's already started to show, I feel like, because Mercury is going from Capricorn into Aquarius, and Capricorn allows it to really kind of clean house. And I feel like there's an energy of being ready or getting ready for that shift that's coming when Mercury joins Pluto in Aquarius next month. Not next month, sorry. Well, yeah, actually next month, because January will be done by then. So yeah, next month, but it'll be this weekend coming Sunday, this Sunday. So aside from that, the astrology this week looks great. So let's get to it. Welcome. I'm so grateful that you're here. My name is Graciela Moore. Welcome to Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace every Monday at 9-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We like to get together and discuss briefly the astrology of the week and where the moon is, because it changes signs every 2 to 3 days. And the moon changing signs every 2 to 3 days, in my experience, explains why one day you cry about something and the next day you might feel like you're over it, or you just don't feel that emotional about it anymore. This happens a lot when the moon is in Cancer and we are all in our feelings. And let's not forget that we all kind of process our feelings differently. So when the moon is in Cancer, I may get all weepy, but someone else that who may not be as emotionally intelligent or may not know that crying is okay may get a little bit moody or a little bit angry because they're feeling like they need to release, right? Cancer is the water sign of water signs, although Pisces, I guess, is pretty intense too. But Cancer is very emotional, right? Think of the heart shell, the face we present to the world, and the mushy inside, the feelings that we keep inside, that we keep sacred. And so I've noticed that shift. When the moon goes from Cancer to Leo, what I was sad about yesterday, today, I couldn't care less about, because the moon is in Leo and the shift is tangible. Leo either validates your feelings, because Leo is you at your brightest and shinest, right? Or it makes it about you in an unhealthy way. So, there's ways around it. But still, I feel like the moon in Cancer is why me? And the moon in Leo is I'm over it. Let's do the thing. What else is there? What else can I do? How can I keep going? That's the moon in Sagittarius too, right? How can I keep moving the needle forward? And so I love to discuss where the moon is every day. And we're starting the week with the moon in Virgo. And listen to this. It never fails. We get to laugh together every time this happens to me, which is more often than not, in all honesty, because part of my own personal journey with my coach is to release the need for perfectionism, to allow myself to be mediocre and to not really feel a certain way about it. That's been part of my own personal journey with my coach that I see every Thursday. And so it's so interesting to me when the moon is in Virgo and I discover that I've made a mistake. It's so interesting because it happens a lot when the moon is in Virgo. Now, here's the question, and there's no way I'm going to experiment enough to collect data about this. But the question then becomes, am I not being such a perfectionist because clearly I made a mistake, so I am actually thriving in allowing myself to make a mistake, and there it is, there's the proof? Or am I making mistakes all over the place and only noticing when the moon is in Virgo? And the rest of the time, I'm just la, 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 don't really care, don't even see it. I thought that was interesting. When I wake up and open my book, Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace 2024 agenda, in the link in the bio, and open it to today and see that it says that it's a waxing gibbous when it's not. It's not a waxing gibbous. It's a waning gibbous because we just had the full moon. And where is it? Right here. And it's losing light. So it's waning. It's not waxing. So there it is. What do you know? A mistake on the day, listen to this, a mistake on the day that the affirmation says, I honor my commitment to self-improvement and recognize that embracing imperfectionism, that's imperfection. Okay. Embracing imperfection is the key to both personal and collective progress. I wrote that on the same day that I make a mistake. I just find it so interesting how spirit works because I look through this several times before publishing. Yet there it is. So kudos to me for not really making a big deal about a mistake and allowing myself the freedom to make mistakes and be imperfect. Yay! Right? So, how are you doing with that? And if you are I know plenty recovery perfectionists. I've had the pleasure of interviewing Poppy Jamie, and she's a recovering perfectionist. That's what she calls it. So it's just interesting to grow and then give ourselves permission to play. And Jessica Lanyata brought this up in her Ghost of a Podcast this week because this week the astrology looks amazing. You know, we've talked also how 1 week the astrology is super positive or at least kind of encouraging and not so dramatic. And then the next week is drama. And then it kind of balances itself out the same way that you go from a water sign to a fire sign and things could, burn out. But then there's an earth sign to kind of balance it all out, right? I'm talking about the journey through the zodiac, right? And so, yeah, how are we doing? So I'm excited because the positive aspect to this week, I feel like, is that there's only trines happening. And a trine, we've talked about these aspects that I don't really like to get into. And it's not because I don't know it. It's because I don't want to overcomplicate this particular conversation because it's not what I want this conversation to focus on. But there's positive aspects between the planets, aspects meaning a position. If a planet is here and the other one is here that has a name, that's called a transit, and it's also called an aspect. And so there's positive aspects that are very kind and loving and encouraging and kind of balsamic in a way, and they allow us to thrive in what we're doing. And then there's challenging aspects that make us question things, make us react physically, mentally, emotionally, and then things unfold in our physical world according to those reactions, right? And so I like to emphasize the negative challenging aspects. They're not negative, they're challenging, right? I like to emphasize the challenging aspects because those are the ones that will create the most drama. Those are the ones that will create the most struggle or difficulty in our days. And as a life coach, I want all of us to be chill and happy and safe, right? And I want all of us to use the tools that we have, that we learn, that we seek out, that I send you, right? Thank you for that. In order to take care of ourselves during those challenging weeks. But this week, there doesn't seem to be a lot or any challenging aspects. Of course, there's always going to be questions, drama, and overall the plot thickens, right? But if you think about it, it's a beautiful way of entering into the next month. And Aquarius season starts February 19th. And with that, we're going to feel we're going to feel that as well, as the sun joins Pluto in Aquarius, which means the sun will illuminate this, this obscure planet that governs the deepest of whatever transformation we're going through. So we're going to talk about that. But this week, Mars also goes from Capricorn to Mercury, and this won't happen until later this week as well. And so right now, it's also been a question of using our actions to kind of be energized, and we are starting the year, but that's the Gregorian year, but in reality we're kind of ending a cycle, right? We just came out of the full moon, so we finished a cycle. And Mars in Capricorn likes to tie up loose ends before transferring, or before going, or I should say transiting into a different sign. So we have that change coming up this week. So you might feel that. You might not be as motivated by the end of the week about something that you were motivated in the beginning of the week. Let's call it that, right? Like, that's a shift. And sometimes we give ourselves a lot of drama about the shifts that we see in our lives, as opposed to acknowledging the shift and saying, three things, I guess, right? Am I okay with it? Yes, no. And then where do I go? And if I am okay with it, then how am I going to shift my awareness? Because this is not what it used to be. So moving on, right? And then Uranus is trining the moon and the earth. So that means, let's just visualize a triangle, right? Between the moon and the earth and Uranus. And that's a trine. And trines are also very supportive. Trines can be very positive. It's not a negative aspect. It's not that challenging. And so Uranus, I feel like, is giving us permission to play. It wants us. I noticed it today. I did not want to be outside. I wanted to be inside. Lots of reasons that we don't need to get into. But my child wanted to be outside all day long. He wanted to play. Even when I saw him like kind of like tired, like he could use a break, he was like, no, get the ball, get the ball, get the ball, get the ball. I don't know what's going on in his tiny little brain, but I do like to make these observations, right, of what's going on atmospherically and how my child and the people around me are behaving. And so that was my observation for the day. I didn't want to play, but I felt like I was kind of being pushed to play and forced to play. And then I remember, like, does Uranus have anything to do with this behavior right now? And if it does, how can I not fix it, but how can I shift it? If I don't want to be outside, what game can I come up with inside that will entice him enough to want to come in? Obviously, not anything that he already has in store. I have to be creative, Uranus. I have to be innovative, Aquarius. I have to, spice it up for my child, who thrives in structure just like all of us and appreciates it as well. He's very good with following, the structure, but at the same time is excited with innovation, and exciting with all things new. Because aren't you? We all are, right? Like, even if you are into antiques, or if you collect, vintage things, when you go to the store to get something vintage, it's new to you. And that's fun, isn't it? So this week is very playful. I wonder how that will come up for you. The moon will be doing its own thing while all of these planets are doing all these other things. And we're starting with the moon in Virgo, finishing January with the moon in Libra. And I'm sorry, I just lost my site over here where I have all my moon stuff. But Libra, ending the day, the month. Obviously, I can't do two things at once. Ending the month with the moon in Libra, I feel like, can also be very helpful. How can we make the most of a moon in Libra? Libra well, first of all, let me clarify by saying that all of the astrology hits different for everybody. If what I say doesn't resonate, it's probably because there's something in your chart, in your own birth chart, where the planets were at the time that you were born and in the place that you were born, because it's a sphere, so it's different. Where the planets were, and if what you hear in a horoscope or in a conversation like this one doesn't resonate, it's probably because there's something in your chart that is specifically challenging that aspect happening in the present time. And so that's why some people really feel it the way they feel it, and other times we just don't, or other people just don't feel it. So the moon in Libra, however, or just Libra in general, the vibe of Libra, if you will, is the scale, right? That's the symbol for Libra. And so the way that I like to visualize Libra is I'm in the middle, because Libra is allowing me to weigh in on things in my life. And if I'm the one doing the weighing, then I'm not on any of the scales. I don't know, if you want to visualize yourself holding the scale, sure. For me, it's like in front of me, right? And so Libra is kind of like being on the fence about something. And you have this side of the fence, and you have this side of the fence. And some people are very comfortable being on the fence about some things. And other people spend a little too much time on the fence, even though they are uncomfortable on the fence. Because so many things, right? Trauma, neurodivergent analysis paralysis. My ADHD friends know what I'm talking about. You know, analysis paralysis is kind of being on the fence about something. So, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I get it. I've been there. And when the moon is in Libra, I feel like I'm there a little bit more. So I wonder how that's going to be for you, because it'll be in Libra tomorrow and Wednesday. And it's the perfect chance to weigh in on all the things that happened this month. Everything that Pluto shifted for you. Let's talk about shifting. Let's talk about how we get hyper focused on something and we do it for a brief spell or a brief period of time. And then, like a planetary shift from one day to the next, we don't care about it anymore. That's great. That happens. I'm only bringing it up as a way of showing you how transformation occurs, because I feel like when we think of transformation, we think of 180-degree change, and it's just not true. But if you are currently changing careers or pondering, getting it in your head that you don't want to do what you're doing and that you would like to do something different, if you're currently thinking, I don't know what my next step is, but I know that something has to change, I feel like that's transformation at work. You're leaving behind whatever and thinking, what is there? Right? Like if you drive up to a lookout, you're not going to look out and appreciate it unless you get out of the car and take a few steps and, lean into the beautiful view, right? And so still, you're on your way to the lookout by driving in your car to go to the lookout, right? So transformation is happening and it doesn't need to be drastic, right? I think a transformation that happens and we kind of overlook or take for granted is when we gain clarity about something. When all of a sudden in the previous season, you were still not sure about something, and now you are sure about it. You have clarity. You see through it. You see it. That's transformative. I'm a coach and this is my opinion and it's my experience, right? And talking with all of you and observing, and I have a lot of people in my life, like in my real life, and it's like I think that if you today are over something that you were not over before Pluto entered Aquarius, I think that's a transformation. Uh, Peter says, I am blowing his mind. Thank you for these insights into transformation, right? Like it doesn't have to be, thank you, Peter. Thank you for saying that. But do you see what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be so big, like packing up a house and moving cross country, right? Like that's a huge transformation. Quitting a job and starting a new career, that's huge. But if today I realized something that I was completely oblivious of a month ago, that's huge in my opinion, right? Especially when you do something about the information that you have learned, right? Because we've talked a lot about how when the moon illuminates something, right? We're going to talk about the full moon. When the full moon illuminates something, you have two choices. You're literally on the fence about the two choices that you have, which is I'm going to do something with this information that the moon has illuminated in the full moon, or I'm going to go back under a rock and ignore this for as long as I want. And then I'm going to forget about it after a little bit. And maybe the next full moon will illuminate it again. If not, I guarantee that the next time the full moon happens on the same sign as this one, it'll come up again because it's the same theme. And so you can choose to ignore it all you want. But if you do something with the information that's been presented to you, you're transforming in progress. You're growing, you're learning, you're trying to not repeat the same mistakes. And so I really wanted to kind of touch on that because it's just not as complicated as we make it out to be. And that means that we shouldn't be scared of it, because that's the thing. I mean, are we fascinated by snakes shedding their skin, or are we scared of snakes in general and see the process of shedding skin and think it's gross and we just don't, right? Or, can we acknowledge that it's part of the process? Can we acknowledge and continue focusing on what we should be focusing on? The word should, I totally get it, but I guess as a service provider and a professional, the word should be part of should be part of this conversation. LOL, right? Because it's what's best. And we don't always do what's best. Absolutely not. We don't always acknowledge it. We don't always make use of the best possible option. We don't always know what the best possible option is, but there's always a best possible option in the moment, given the circumstances and given the resources available. There's always a best option, right? It's like a multiple choice. There's rarely a D, all of the above kind of answer, right? Usually you do have to pick A, B, or C. So this week, hopefully, most of you watching and most of my clients as well are very creative people who will probably seek out a lot of play, if not naturally, then on purpose, right? Like the book encourages you to say, this week I will create blank. And I have to say, I bought this weeks ago, and this week I'm hoping to at least pick one and start it. It's a coloring book, but it's very special because I've been looking for years for a coloring book that I really loved, and this is it. It has mushrooms and fairies and eyes, and it's so beautiful. And so this week I will create even just one moment where I get to sit down and flip through the book and pick one. Hopefully I get to start it. Maybe I get enough peace and quiet to finish it. Do I have to finish it? Absolutely not. Am I going to be upset if I finish it? Of course not. But do I want to start it? Yes. So will I be upset if I don't start it? Not really, but will I look back at my week and be like, dang it, I didn't start it? Probably. And so knowing that, right? Know thyself. That's the ultimate goal. Yes. See, my baby sister wants me to pick one for her and paint it and frame it and send it to her. Like now this is work. No, I'm kidding. I'll do it eventually. But for real, know thyself. That's the goal, right? Because then you know how you react and you can recognize it and stop yourself in your tracks if you're going off the tracks and just move back on track. I know I make it sound super easy and it's not. So this is why I love that we're here together and that you allow me the privilege of reaching out to you so that I can be nosy and ask what's up with you, and then hopefully I can help. That's all I want. So that's it. No, that's not it, because after the moon in Libra, we start February with the moon in Libra, which I think is super cute. And then we have Friday, Saturday of the moon in Scorpio, and Sunday, the moon in Sagittarius. So next week, the moon will be Sagittarius. But I think playfulness and Mercury moving into Aquarius is going to want us to really kind of materialize into words, into an understanding, into a dialogue, some of the plans that you've been having, some of the things that you've been researching to put together. Like I said, a lot of us are really going through real physical changes. I'm talking, season 3 of Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace will or has started in this coaching corner, but will not finish the season in this coaching corner because we got plans, right? And so we'll see. I guess I'll let you know on Moon Day next week what happened to me when Mercury entered Aquarius. Now, in the book, don't forget that you have an opportunity to think about the month of February and what you want to manifest. My goal for the month is, and reaching that goal will make me feel right. To be able to get in tune with your emotions, you have to learn to look at your emotions and identify that and kind of project. You cannot control a situation, but you can control your intention going in, and you can decide how you feel about it afterwards. Should I repeat that? I feel like you can decide how to feel about something is pretty powerful. You can, right? When we say I'm over it, even though I wasn't over it 2 nights ago, yes, repeat. Peter says to repeat. So, yeah, I did repeat it, but I'll say it again. What was it? Okay. Yes, you can decide how to feel about something. Okay. When you say today that you're over something that, last week or last month or even yesterday, you were not over about, that's you choosing, that's you making a choice. I have decided that I will not cry about this anymore, and I'm going to focus on what's next. You may not say the words, I choose not to be sad about this one thing, and I choose to be happy. You may not say it like that, right? Because we don't really talk like that. But you may say, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to really try my best to focus on what's in front of me, to focus on the next project, to focus on my work, whatever you say, whatever you want to call it. But in the end, you're making a choice to not feel the way you did. So you do have a choice about how you feel about something. And I've noticed this in the past few moons in Cancer, where I haven't been all in my feelings and I haven't shed a tear. And I've thought, am I focused on self-care and being comfortable and giving myself grace and not really pushing myself to be perfect and just being and being calm and being nurtured by the moon, which is what the moon in Cancer kind of wants to do? Or am I just growing and choosing to do these things like on purpose? Like I'll get the little knot on my throat, but I'll be like, I'm good. I'm good. I know it's the moon. I know that we will be okay. I know I'll be okay. So there's a lot of food for thought there. And then the weekend, Friday and Saturday with the moon in Scorpio, Scorpio is pretty deep. Scorpio is transformation. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So we'll talk about it next week because I'm very interested in kind of experiencing what the moon in Aquarius, what the moon in Scorpio will be like with Pluto in Aquarius and Mercury entering Aquarius that same weekend, right? Friday and Saturday. Sunday is when Mercury will be in Aquarius officially, but we will feel it by the end of the week. Because the moon in Scorpio is that transformation, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and the moon is waning. And what happens during the waning moon is the perfect time for shadow work, which means the perfect time for you to self-reflect, the perfect time for you to look at what the full moon illuminated and deciding what to do with it, or whether to really be upset about it or burn down the house. And the moon in Scorpio might highlight those feelings of just negativity. And it's negative if you don't know how to deal with it. It's negative if you're not equipped to really focus on how to solve whatever comes so that you can flow through instead of getting stuck on a specific energy. That's the goal. So that's it, y'all. That is your week. I'm looking forward to figuring out what you will create. I'm looking forward to touching base and seeing how are you being playful this week. Are you playing more with your pets? Are you spending more time with your children? Are you going to be coloring? Coloring is absolutely play. Some people, I feel like the intellectuals on X will kind of say, play is whatever you do that you don't get paid for. Okay. We know better, right? Like some things are real deep work and we love it. So it's play, right? So that's for you to consider. A lot of the transformative stuff that we are going through is not play. It's very serious, and it entails a lot of intricate parts and a lot of steps to complete. So it's not really playtime, is it? Can we still enjoy our time and can we still be playful about it? Absolutely. So these are all the things that I like to kind of ponder and consider so that when things come up, we don't freak out. So let's leave it at that, shall we? Let's get comfortable and do a short meditation. I have to say, I was kind of weary of starting the episode because I have been yawning all day and complaining about the yawning all day. Like, I don't want to be so tired. I don't want to be so sleepy, but here I am. And so I decided to have some coffee with you, which I never do. And now I don't know if I'll sleep, but this was a great conversation. So cheers to you. Thank you for joining me. I cannot remember the last time I was having coffee at 10 p.m. My sister says, good luck. Peter said, cheers. Thank you. But this is probably why I'm like all over the place. Absolutely. But let's get this meditation going. I was going to say meditation. Music is brought to you by Brain FM. Peter will sing to me. Yes. You can find a free trial of Brain FM in the link in my bio. We do this every Monday and we love it. And when I say we, I mean you watching. So thank you for being here. We're going to do an unguided meditation of chimes and bowls. So just sit back and relax. Midnight. Peter said he's going to sing a lullaby at midnight. Focus on your normal, slow breath. Nice and slow. Relax your body. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms. Relax your hips. Relax your legs. Relax your feet. And with me, take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep, deep, deep breath in all the way. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out through your mouth. Long, extended breath out. Hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again through your nose. Deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale through your mouth. Long breath out, nice and slow. And as you relax into this exhale, focus your attention on your heart. And with each breath and a gentle smile, remind yourself that it is okay to be playful. It is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to change your mind. It is okay to change directions. It is okay to start doing something new. And it's okay to stop doing something you no longer want to do. With me, take a deep breath in through your nose, nice and slow. Deep, full breath in, hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and release through your mouth. Nice and slow, extended breath all the way. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again through your nose. Nice and long, deep breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale nice and slow. And as you relax into this exhale, remember this affirmation. I honor my commitment to self-improvement and recognize that embracing imperfection is the key to both personal and collective progress. I am safe. I am loved. I am guided. I am protected. With me, take one last deep breath in through your nose. Deep, deep breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. Nice and slow through your mouth. Long breath out. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe in again. One last time. Deep breath in through your nose. All the way, fill your lungs. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale through your mouth, nice and slow. And as you relax into this exhale, slowly bring your awareness to your body. Wiggle your toes and move your hands. And open your eyes and come back to me. And that concludes our conversation. I am so grateful for you for being here. So grateful for you. If you bought the book, if you would like the PDF, please get in touch. And I'm just so grateful for your pictures and your paintings. Look at that golden key. Look how it shines. I don't know if you can see that, but it's gold. And this is my full moon painting. We are officially putting away already a full moon and a new moon. Let's see, where is it? Let me find it. Here's the new moon in Capricorn and the full moon in Leo for the month of January. Now, is it me or does this look like a one-eyed face and this is the nose? Interesting. Now I'm gonna ponder that. But anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments, for participating. Thank you for following along the journey. Thank you to my subscribers and Patreons who contribute $5 a month for a handout, an audio meditation, and what else? The PDF printable of this book. So, and of course, a chat and my undivided attention pretty much every day. So thank you all so much. I will see you next moon day. And next moon day, we will talk about the full moon. Let's just double check before I let you go. The full moon is on the 9th. And we start the week on the 5th. So absolutely the next moon day, we're going to talk about the full moon happening next week. So the new moon happening next week. So I will see you there. Bye, everybody. Love you. Bye.